Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's Wacky and Weird Wednesday. We have all the weird and wacky things going on in the world so that we can go, huh? Is this reality? Maybe we are in a simulation.
Probably.
Including robots fighting in a ring. This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our body and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those wacky headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Ban on social networks to children under 15 gets adopted in the French Parliament, a victory for Macron. And unbelievable situation in the UK after an entire village decided to vote for permanent separation from the rest of the country. I can give you one hint why. Immigrants, no!
Oh. And two men in America. Happy Weird Wednesday. Two men sue hospital for sending them home with the wrong families 40 years ago. Hello, morons. And a filmmaker does a DNA test and finds out that Charles Manson is her grandfather.
Not a great legacy. A brutal humanoid robot cage, as in just robots. I don't know if they're calling them humanoids, but humanoid-like, I guess, robot cage match stops abruptly when one of the robots' heads pops off. Uh-oh. And in weird travesty news, a former Japanese nurse was arrested for killing a patient after injecting IV drip with feces, then attempting to cover up the crime, which means they knew they were doing a crime. What the hell?
That's a shitty crime.
Oh, dear.
And speaking of digestion, a woman's stomach condition was finally cured by Diet Coke, and an 82-year-old woman survives 9 days after falling in a bathtub.
In my culture news, Grul and Graph Museum asks if you could survive a Victorian workhouse.
Ooh. And it's National Mango Day and National Hammock Day. I got me a hammock. I don't need a mango. Anyway, I'm going to land a hammock without mangoes. It is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026 on Before Coffee. Look over Allison's left shoulder. You'll notice that the counter is under 1,000 days. It's in 900.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
less
we're
than 1,000 days
days
until the end of the world.
That's right. It's over, and we got to start some kind of countdown for that. Some kind of bonus or something. I don't know.
My karaoke mic is acting up. Oh, it's leaving a buzz.
Karaoke.
Yeah.
We finally started the show. Yes. Now we're technically.
And now I have more audio problems. Maybe if I just leave on my desk.
We fired all our technical team because they were stealing from us, which is really hard to do since we don't have anything to steal. But
I can hear the buzz of the mic.
They figured a way to do it. Though. They're clever.
All right, I think it's gone now. Okay. Now, let's get into our first segue for our first stories. Take it away, wheel. Roll the wheel, or spin the wheel, whatever. The wheel is willing.
The Wheelie Nelson. Let's call him Wheelie Nelson, just for short. Wheelie Nelson.
Somebody's drilling the wall. What is that loud noise? Okay.
Oh, it's
our first segue.
that song.
Well, I hope you're awake from your 15th cup of coffee because your first segue is a limerick.
Yeah, drink whole freaking.
This is like the third time in a row or something. You got limerick as your first segue.
As long as there's words that rhyme and you go a little bit slow on your shorter stories, because
these stories are 3 minutes long. It says each one. Well, this one actually might be longer than 3 minutes. This first story is about the ban on social media networks in France, and my second story is about that UK village wanting to leave the UK. So if you want, you can make one limerick about both those stories, and you can do it at the end instead of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's all right.
this is from Victor Boitou on Liberation. Parliamentary or Elysee victory. Whatever the usual copyright dispute, Parliament based a bill on Tuesday, the July 21st, to ban networks for ban social networks for those under the age of 15. Mero de Emmanuel Macron, the subject of a battle of legal interpretation between the National Assembly and the Senate. The text was adopted by the deputies with 279 votes in favor and 81 against. Wow, talk about a landslide victory. If it enters into force at the beginning of September, as the head of state wishes, it will make France the first country in European Union to regulate access to social networks for the youngest people. This is a major step forward, the head of state said in a video posted on social media, ironically, where all these children won't be able to see, I guess. Oh, I guess right now they can see it. They can go, oh shit, Macron says we're out of here. In culmination, added Claire Chapaz, digital and AI ambassador, we are a precursor to Europe. France has very much listened to it on this issue. Emmanuel Macron has leadership on the subject. He has all the leadership on the subject. I'm actually gonna have to mute this because there we go. Karaoke might keep making noise. Right. At the tribune of the Palais Bourbon, the rapporteur of the text, Laurie Miller, listed the harmful effects of social networks on the youngest people. The impact on memory and reading, the fragmentation of attention, the aggravation of eating disorders and suicidal thoughts among young girls. On the other hand, in Sumis, France opposed it, calling the law liberticide, like liberty side. Okay. I see where you're going, said Arnaud Saint Martin. Adopted in January by the deputies, the text, which also provides for the ban of mobile phones. Good luck with that one. In high school, has been reworked in March in the Senate.
You can ban things in schools. It's not that hard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but there's plenty. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, all this stuff is obviously like, good luck actually regulating this, right? And then the subject of compromise Monday on the 20th of July in a joint committee. The final adoption marks a victory for the head of state, who, again in mid-June at the G7 summit, also recalled the effects of the digital jungle. The best specialists have established it. Social networks are bad for our children and our teenagers. It plunges them into great solitude and makes them suffer because they are not ready for it. They are too young. Sometimes it is a place of harassment and it blurs their personal, sensitive, and sensory cognitive development. And as somebody who grew up in social media's rise and fall, so to say, I kind of have to agree with that. I hate to have to agree with all these boomers in parliament or whatever, but I think having access to that many people, having access to you, and having access to that many people, like even if it's like the 100 people in your class in high school, that's too many people to know what you're doing, to be able to message you or like DM you, you know, watching you all the time. Of course, the problem with Gen Alpha and Gen Z is that they can't even be their actual selves, right? They're always masking because they could get posted on the internet and cyberbullied, right? This is a common thing a lot of Gen Alpha and Gen Z people say. Unfortunately, millennials mostly just got all the awkward phase, you know, where it's like, oh, great, I forgot I posted that photo of me, I don't know, doing something illegal 20 years ago on Facebook, and now I'm in trouble for it because the internet's forever, as we shortly learned as social media got more popular. And I don't think if you're a 12-year-old and you do something, you know, that, you know, 12-year-olds are supposed to learn from their mistakes. But if you get flambasted on social media for your first mistake ever, you're not learning anything. You're just learning that I can never make mistakes again, or I'll be I'll lose my job. Like, at 12-year-olds, I beat a puppy, and now I've lost my job as a 30-year-old. I don't know if that's actually happened to anybody, but it could, right? And that's fucked up, right? You should not be punished for your crimes you did as a 12-year-old, in my opinion. Whatever crimes they may be, moralistically, actual legal crimes,
Leave kids alone, man. Life's hard enough.
And I'm not defending people who use the N-word or are homophobic or hateful. When you're 12, you're supposed to make those mistakes, in my opinion. You're supposed to go, oh shit, I'm actually a shit human being. I should be better. So people like me. Not, I called somebody gay when I was 12, and now I'm 30 and I've been canceled. Like, what the fuck is going on? Anyways, I'm going on a huge tangent here. It was long, however, this awareness among the young president, singer of digitalized election. That was a terribly translated sentence from French. He's been aware of this since 2017, I think is what the sentence is trying to say. Advisors, researchers, intellectuals, not to mention his wife, Brigitte Macron, victim of false news of conspiracy on social networks, all have alerted him to the harmfulness of algorithms and the addiction they provoke in the brains of the youngest. After a first 5-year term to try to regulate the digital giants, Macron decided to take a step on the ban after the death of the young Nahil, killed by policemen in Nanterre, Haute-de-Seine, on June 27, 23. I think we even reported on that on the show. 3 days after the death of the teenager, representatives of Meta, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok were summoned to the Ministry of Interior, and then the digital minister, Gérald Darmanin, and Jean-Noël Barrot. Instructions had gone from actively engaging to urge messages reported to them and responding promptly to requests of administrative and judicial authorities, the Interior Minister said in a statement. After a crisis meeting with the LC, Macron also roared, Platfing? I don't think that's a word in English. And social networks play a considerable role in the movements of the last few days. We have seen on several of them, Snapchat, TikTok, both organizations of rallies, but a form of mimicry and violence. This is the youngest that leads to the form of exit from reality. The subject had already been taken with the armed by parliamentarians. A bill to establish a digital majority and fight online hate has been in the National Assembly since the beginning of 23, led by Laurent Marcangeli from the Horizons Party. It evokes the risks related to mental health and cites in particular the work of the American professor Jonathan Haidt, author of The Anxious Generation, Anxiety Generation, best-selling in the United States, translates in France. I said this one might be longer than 3 minutes. In January of 2025, a book that marks Emmanuel Macron, promulgated on July 7th, 2023. The Marcangeli law has never come into force. The European Commission considered the French government was being arrogant in itself against the prerogatives under the European Union. But anyways, the point of this story is, right, there's been many, I know social media is still quite new to our society, but there's already been plenty of people studying it and looking at it. And of course, millennials are now 30 to 40. So you can see at least the early onset consequences of social media to young people, right? Because I think if you, I get an argument about Robert with this all the time, but he considers YouTube social media. In a way, it is, right? You can comment on people's posts, you can like and dislike.
Yep.
Even in old YouTube, you're able to do video replies, right? So you could actually like send a video to the person and say, "You're fucking wrong, you idiot," or whatever, you know? You as a child could be on the internet in 2007 and be experiencing all of these things, and it probably did rewire our brains. And that's probably why a lot of us are anxious, according to at least this book, right, by the American, the American professor Jonathan Haidt, right? The Anxious Generation, all constantly being on the watch, right? People are always looking for you. Makes you anxious. Give me your limerick.
Oh, okay. That was going to be a short story. I wrote this in a hurry.
I went on a tangent
in
the middle.
I've been waiting for 10 minutes for the story to end. I'm like, I thought this was a short story. Okay. There once was a Nazi clone named Zuckerberg who didn't act alone. Him and his pal Elon Musk expose young children to smut. France now says, take your bots and go home. There's your...
Oh my God!
Amazing. Thank you for the limerick. And also that will... Also, hello, Nico. Thank you for checking in with your... Did you? Yes, sun-dried acorn. Also, that's a conspiracy theory. Bingo card. All right, my next story, which is way shorter. So now you're gonna be complaining that I spoke too fast. This is Maria Zarnescu.
I don't know what the story is about. Go ahead.
This is Maria Zarnescu on Libertatea, Romania. So this story is coming out of Romania. Just a third-party point of view on this story. An entire village in the UK has decided to vote for definite separation from the rest of the country. Remember, this is Wacky and Weird Wednesday, so even this will be covered. The decision comes as a symbolic... the name of the town is Piddington.
Oh, God.
Piddington. Yep. Well, not anymore, supposedly. It's a Piddington name now. The decision comes as a symbolic act of protest, so they're not actually going to leave the UK, but symbolic, against the Interior Ministry's plans to turn a former nearby military barracks, which I'm assuming is not being used for anything, into a center for 1,250 asylum seekers. You're killing those asylum seekers' homes! I'm leaving the country, how dare you! We wanted that barracks to be left alone and empty and nobody using it, how dare you put people in it! We wanted it to just fall into the ocean! Now our plans are ruined! Anyways, I'm sure that's not why they're doing it. Residents of the village in Piddington have approved a referendum on the Declaration of Independence, which will take place soon. Which is funny because marking the 250 years since the United States did the same thing. According to the source, 96% of the locals expressed themselves in favor of the initiative, although there is no legal mechanism by which a village can declare independence from the United Kingdom. The approach is seen by inhabitants as a way of expressing their dissatisfaction. Interior Ministry plans include using a land of former Chester garrison located between Piddington and Upper Oncott, so it's not even in their town, right? It's just around their town, to house up to 1,250 men seeking asylum by the end of the year. This is about representation. I had no say in this proposal. We asked questions, but we didn't get any answers. Tim McNally, chairman of the parish council in Piddington, told the source. McNally added, "The shock caused by this information has affected people. I could have prepared them if I had been informed in advance." Okay, is this about the immigration or is this about your pride that you weren't informed? I'm not sure anymore. He also said he was working on a drafting of a constitution for the village, drawing inspiration from George Washington's examples. Okay, these people have completely drinking the MAGA juice, I think. And this is real. Yeah. There's Europeans right now in your country, if you're European, who believe in Trump and MAGAism, which doesn't make any sense because it means make America great again. Why do they care about America being great? I don't know. It's a brainworm going around, and even people in Europe have caught it.
There you go. Make Anglicans great again.
George Washington brought change. I will make the change, and then I will give up the power, just like him.
Washington was sentenced to death by the British Crown during the Revolutionary War.
Yes, I mean, they're speaking about there being no legal way to actually declare independence. Like, I don't think the U.S. declared independence legally, by the way. Anyways, continue the story. Residents are concerned about the impact this proposal could have on the safety and value of property in the village. McNally explained, as a small village, many people walk around free without care. Oh, we're following... You know, I would understand if this is only a joke, but I'm gonna say it. I would understand if you were worried about 12,050 men coming to your village, but I'm pretty sure it's not about the men. It's about the asylum seeker part, right? It's that they're immigrants, not because they're men. Immigrants and men. Oh no, our village is in danger. They're not even going to your village. They're up there, over there in a barracks. And a small village, many people walk around free without care. At this point, there are no offenses, but what will happen if they show up? Nothing, as long as you don't already treat them like criminals before they show up. Piddington is not the only community that opposes the measures. The Interior Ministry plans to extend 2 other Defense Ministry locations that are, I'm assuming, not being used by anything, right? Just empty buildings. To Wethersfield, Essex, Crowborough, Sussex, to host a total of 1,750 asylum seekers. In addition, 2 other locations, the former RAF bases in Linton-on-Ouse, that's a lovely word, Ouse, in North Yorkshire, and RAF Barnum in Suffolk, generated similar opposition reactions. Yet again, probably all of these bases are abandoned, not being used. Justice Minister Jake Richards acknowledged a local opposition to expansion plans in an interview this month, but stressed the measures needed to end the use of hotels and accommodation of our migrants. That's what happens when you try to please the lowest common denominator. Oh, they're using hotels! How dare they? Now they're using our barracks that we don't use. How dare they? They don't deserve houses and living. They should get out of our country, and that's it. That's all we'll take. The military sites we intend to use are large and more isolated. I understand there will always be opposition to such proposals, but we have to make difficult decisions to keep our promise to the British people, he said, as cited by the source. Richards added that renting hotels for the 20,885 asylum seekers staying at the end of March 26 generated a lot of anxiety and pain across the country. He reiterated the government's commitment to shut down those units and reform asylum system by the end of the current legislature. President Piddington believes that holding the referendum is a way to make their voice heard. I mean, I guess we're talking about him, so that worked. Ian Darby, a 62-year-old financial consultant living in 16-year-old Paddington, a 62-year-old financial consultant living in 16-year-old Piddington, or maybe he's saying he's lived there for 16 years, said, the government has not discussed it with lawmakers or the local council. It is undemocratic. There are huge problems related to this decision. We're not talking about the rights and mistakes of asylum seekers, we're talking about the people who live in the village. But they're not coming to your village, they're going to a barrack that is in between your village and another village. So they're talking about land that's owned by the government, right? A barrack, even if it's abandoned, is still government land. It doesn't belong to the village or the council or anybody, so it's none of your business. Also, you're the UK. You barely have democracy. Shut up. Anyways, this remind you that in the 2016, the UK held the referendum to leave the European Union. The procedure for leaving the EU was subsequently triggered in March of 2017, and they've been fucked ever since. There's your sorry, that story activated something within me.
You can tell these stories at 3 minutes and it'll be longer. It's all right. I definitely got this finished because I wrote so fast.
Stupid. I hate this.
Well, it definitely works on me. I definitely don't take my time. That's for damn sure. Just keep telling me the stories are short so I don't dilly-dally around. And oh, yeah, I better write a limerick. All right, my limerick goes like this. The name of this town is Piddington? Okay.
Yes, Piddington.
That sucks. One day in Piddington Town, sorry, I had to call it Piddington Town for the rhyme. One day in Piddington Town, the weirdos were tearing things down. Succeed from the king! They follow a new thing, an orange bloated Adderall sniffing clown.
Oh my god.
You fool! There's your bingo card.
I added that one from yesterday.
Orange bloated Adderall sniffing clown. Adderall sniff. I could have added racist rapist also, but yeah, I had to cut back on the adjectives.
Okay, let's go to our next segue before I rant more about this story. It's so funny to me.
Let's not make the show a 24-hour show.
We had the same thing happen here in my village too. They were like, "Oh, you're bringing Syrian immigrants in," and then everyone yelled, and then they didn't do it, and then it's like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
it's not even in the village.
Stories. Did you get limerick?
Tell a joke.
No, okay. Well, here's a joke about misplacing babies. I don't know how you do this in the hospital. I just swear to God. I don't know how this happens. Even 40 years ago, it still seems rather modern thing. The screw up. Anyway, if you think you have an identity crisis. Imagine you're one of these two guys. They were sent home with the wrong family when they were babies. HealthExec.com has a story of Dave Pearson, 2 men sue hospital, which you can do, I hope, for sending them home with each other's families as newborns almost 4 years ago. All of the blunders which a hospital can get sued, switching babies at birth, has to rank among the least worried about by staff or contract lawyers or risk managers. That doesn't mean it never happens. A lawsuit filed this month may serve as a reminder. The action caught the eye of the public last week when 2 men and both their sets of parents accused Unity Medical Center in Grafton, North Dakota of making a rare error and then looking the other way for decades. Oh, yeah, we gave them to the wrong family, and then, who gives a shit? Fuck it. The men, Kyle Byland, whose name probably should be Morrison, and Jeremy Morrison, whose last name probably should be Byland, both 38 years old, discovered they shared the same birthday, January 26, 1988. After one took a DNA test and discovered the mom and dad who had raised them were not his biological parents. That's right, everybody in the world can take a DNA test nowadays. It's very simple, costs $20. A little detective work led the men and their respective parents learning the truth. They'd both been raised by each other's biological mother and each other's biological mother and father, not the ones they thought were really their parents. Not by the real parents. Local station KVLY TV in Fargo notes the family's first complained about the consequential mix-up in 2024. The suit filed on July 7th accuses the hospital of perpetuating deceit, medical malpractice, intentional and as well as negligent infliction of emotional distress. The 6 plaintiffs, 2 men and all 4 parents, are seeking monetary damages and demanded a jury trial. For its part, the hospital denies the allegations, asking a judge to dismiss the case with prejudice. The suit says Kyle Bellin and Jeremy Morrison were the only babies born in Unity Medical Center the day they came into the world. Of course, North Dakota, not a very popular state. There aren't a lot of people living there. It's mostly land. There's about 5 cities in the whole state. The complaint suggests that... Yeah, it's an Indian reservation. It was given to the Indians as a reservation. They said, you know what? Wait, there's gold here. We got to steal it back. The complaint suggests that only evidentiary explanation for the DNA test results is that the hospital sent each of the babies home as each other's true parents. The text underscores that the serious mistake remained unknown to the plaintiffs for more than 35 years. The employees and or agents of Unity Medical Center who switched to newborns and then failed to recognize or correct the error were acting within the scope of their employment or agency, according to the complaint, quoted by People Magazine. The hospital may use comparative fault defense. In its own defense, the court of public opinion, the hospital expresses sympathy but suggests legal actions may be rendered moot by a statute of limitations. How does a statute of limitations, like killing somebody? How's there a statute of limitations on this? This makes no damn sense.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
The only problem is you're going to prove intentional negligence, and that's really hard to prove, right? It's just, you got to prove they did it maliciously or for any other reason. And, oop, we made a mistake. I would just say, if your kid doesn't like either one idea, we got a problem here. Unfortunately, because of the passage of nearly 4 decades of medical staffing records that might have provided additional clarity no longer exists, and no members of the delivery team from that time are still employed at the hospital. Of course not. 40
you don't know who. Yeah, you don't know who to arrest, so you have to drop it. Yeah, sadly. Who do we arrest? I don't know.
The youngest person was 18. They would now be 56 by now, right? So.
And there probably wasn't a young person like that.
If they were 30, they'd be almost
dead.
70. So, they'd be almost 70, likely. Retired. Yeah, 70 doesn't mean dead. But yeah, there's your story. There's a whole lot more. I'm cutting it off because what are we going to say? Fuck ups happen. There's no pictures in this article. I'm sure there's pictures.
He wants retribution. He wants justice, but it's just not going to happen. So you're just going to have to...
They want money.
I don't know.
They want money.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to settle out of court. I'm going to say at some point this hospital. But what are people going to do? Go to a different hospital? They're not. So... Oh my God, we got one hospital.
They'll switch your baby at birth, I guess. Yeah.
That'll show those people 40 years ago. We shut down the hospital today, so dead people couldn't die from head colds, whatever.
Where's the worst place to hide in a hospital?
Really Why is that?
Where is the worst place to hide in the hospital?
The maternity ward?
The ICU. You can't hide. They always see you.
Get it?
My son swallowed some coins and was taken to the hospital. When I asked how he was, the nurse said, "No change yet."
Ow!
All right, this is a long one. My pregnant wife hobbled into the hospital with one hand on her back. The nurse asked her what's wrong, and the wife screamed, "Shouldn't, wouldn't, didn't." The nurse shook her head and said, "I'm sorry, I don't understand." The wife's face contorted in pain as she shouted, "Can't, won't, don't." The nurse, bewildered, turned to the doctor. "Admit her," the doctor said. "She's having contractions."
Oh.
Grammar joke. Contractions. Okay. Next story. Enough of that.
All right, next
Enough of that.
story. If you think you got a weird DNA, or just did a story about DNA, we're back into the DNA farm again, because we're going to talk about this poor woman whose grandfather was Charles Manson, of all people. Oh my God, what a horrible thing to discover about your own self. I say, oh my God, how can I deal with this? I don't even know what you do. People.com has the story. Stacy Lamb is the author, published July 9th. It has the day on it. She did a DNA test and discovered she has a notorious grandfather, Charles Manson. Nearly 9 years after Charles Manson's death, revelations about the cult leader are still being unearthed, including one shocking discovery about his lineage. After taking let's see. In People's exclusive first look at the upcoming Hulu documentary, My Grandfather, Charles Manson, filmmaker Sophia Maddox learns that she is descended from the notorious convicted criminal and perpetrator of several gruesome murders during the late 1960s, marking a new branch of Manson's real-life family that has not been publicly revealed before. After taking a DNA test, Maddox learns the truth about her previously unknown grandfather, someone who bears a striking resemblance to her father, Daniel Arguelles. The personal revelation then leads her down a rabbit hole as she grapples with a newfound identity, while also learning more about the sprawling underworld surrounding the Manson family, which was responsible for the infamous murder of the then pregnant Sharon Tate and 6 other people, including the Folgers, right? The Folgers, the family that started the coffee company, killed them. Of course, the murder of Sharon Tate was that was supposed to be the Beach Boys manager's house. It was a lot of people don't know this, but I don't know if you know this. Charles Manson tried out for he wanted to be a musician. He actually was friends with Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys, and the Beach Boys manager heard his recordings and his records and shit and said, "You suck, Charles Manson. You can't sing, you can't play any instrument, and you suck. And by the way, you suck." So Charles Manson had a vendetta against that particular record executive or particular manager. And unfortunately for Sharon Tate, that one particular manager rented out his house to Roman Polanski, Sharon Tate's husband. And yeah, that's why she ended up dead. Charles Manson wasn't there, by the way. He just told him to kill whoever was home. So yeah, she ended up dead because it was a vendetta against the Beach Boys, of all things. But yeah. Not checking anything. He knew where the executive lived. He didn't realize the executive was renting out his house. Anyway, as Maddox traces her grandfather's life, her genetics unlock never released records and exclusive audio recordings that illuminate Manson's pathology in startling ways. The more Sophia uncovers, the more her relationship with her father is strained. For Sophia, there is no turning back. What has she inherited? How will she reckon with her family's legacy? After I learned Charles Manson was my grandfather through a DNA test, I started filming myself, because I didn't know how else to cope with the news, Maddox closely told People about the project, which is set to premiere on Wednesday, July 22nd. What began as a way to process a shocking family discovery became a deeper investigation into generational trauma, identity, and whether she is destined to repeat those stories we inherit. I don't think so. Charles Manson was in and out of prison and juvenile detention centers from a very young age, so I think a lot of his actions were environmentally because he had no center. He had no moral compass. Ultimately, I hope the film reminds people that while we can't choose where we come from, we can choose what we do with that history, she continues. Prior to the revelations made about Manson's lineage, in the documentary, it's publicly known that he had 3 sons, Charles Manson Jr., Charles Luther Manson, and Michael Bruner. Manson Jr., who later legally changed his name to J. Well, let's go expose this poor bastard, all right? It ain't his fault. Was born to Rosalie Jean Willis on April 10th, 1956, according to a birth certificate obtained by Los Angeles Magazine. Little is known about Manson's eldest son, who died by suicide, age 37. That's not a good sign. Of course, he knew he was Manson's son his whole life, so I'm sure that...
But maybe he was just bullied for it, like, oh yeah, sorry, I was born, you know. It's really fucked up.
He died of suicide at age 37, June 29th, 1993. Manson Jr. had a surviving adult son, Jason Freeman, who was given custody to Manson's remains after he died in 2017. Back, what the heck? Back. Screen disappeared. Okay, back. Charles Luther was the son of Charles Manson and Leona Ray Musser, who was also known as Candy Stevens. He legally changed his name to J. Charles Warner in 1976, died in 2007 in Colorado. Born Valentine Michael Manson in 1968, Bruner's Manson's son with Mary Teresa Bruner, an early member of the Manson family. So, wow, the Manson family genes both sides in that one. According to the Los Angeles Times, his maternal grandparents Elsie and George Bruner officially adopted him in '76, and Michael has kept relatively low profile, which you would want to do. The documentary is produced by Mike Renner, blah, blah, blah. There's your story. It's available to stream starting today, so this is very fortuitous, on Hulu. And if you go to Disney Plus, and you can bundle Hulu together with Disney Plus because they own it and all of that crap. So if you want to watch the documentary, you want to get the down low on this woman and how she's struggling, there's your little story. Let's have us a joke about Charles Manson, of all things. So, what a thing to joke about.
Well, I have them anyways.
Yeah, I know, right?
First joke. This is a boomer joke. You'll get it when you get it. So I heard Charles Manson is getting married. Yeah, I didn't think life in prison was strong enough punishment either.
Ha!
Because marriage is worse than prison. Ah ha ha. And this one's an easy one. Have you listened to any of Charles Manson's songs? I heard they're cult classics.
Wow! Oh.
That needs a rim shot there. That's what that needs.
Guns N' Roses recorded one of his songs, but didn't list it on the album. Yeah. They got a lot of shit for that. Why are you giving Charles Manson royalties? Well, we didn't list it on the album, so you can't get the royalties.
Maybe his children could have got those royalties. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. If that record executive would have signed him to Beach Boys label, then Charles Manson might have gone a different way. Who knows, right? He might be, rock star. It don't take talent to be a rock star. Kiss proved that.
He wasn't really that good looking either. I don't. But maybe they were looking back then.
He had the drugs. He had all the good drugs, my friends. He had all the good acid. When you're on an acid trip, you're
you have to tell. That's a joke off. So now you have to tell me jokes about my story, which I don't know how you're going to joke about this. I think my stories are even harder to joke about. One of them is easy. One of them is easy to joke about. The decapitated robot. This is from Frank Landymore on Futurism. Miss innovations from the bleeding edge of science and technology. There's already a free joke for you there. You might wince at the professional spectacle of two humans beating each other to a pulp, but when it's two robots, you want maximum carnage. Thankfully, the inaugural Ultimate Robot Knockout Legend URKL competition in Shenzhen, China, has delivered on providing the most brutal but bloodless spectacle you can lay eyes on. In a video cage match between two mechanical humanoids, one of the clanker combatants literally knocks his opponent's block off by delivering a flying kick to the face. This whole article is a joke. The whole thing is just funny. The robot continues to fight, its head dangling from between its shoulders, and throws a few punches, but not for long. After being knocked to the ground again, it flails uncontrollably while trying to get to its feet. Nothing makes me laugh more than a humanoid robot having a seizure in the middle of a freaking cage match. The violent jerking severs the cable connecting the hanging head, and the robot collapses onto the ground. The other robot, victorious, dances over its unmoving body. It's Wacky and Weird Wednesday, everyone. According to the state-run tabloid Global Times, the URKL competition featured 32 teams from around the world who all used the T-800 humanoid robot from Engine AI, a Chinese robotics company. The point of the competition, according to Engine AI CEO Zhao Tongyang, was twofold: create a global commercial robot fighting brand and promote research and industrialization. Let the event feed back into technology, and I let the technology drive the industry, Tongyang told the Global Times. You can't accuse Tongyang of not putting his money where his mouth is. In a video that went viral last December, he donned a suit of armor and let himself take blows from one of his T-800 robots. One kick was so powerful that it slammed him to the ground. Great, so now people are going to use this as a military force and beat up civilians? That's all I'm worried about. Robots being used by the rich to get the poor.
Just hit the off. They're easy to hack, too. You can hack them. Don't worry about that.
EMP, everyone start carrying your EMP grenades. It's hard to tell how much of the splash the event made in the country, but it must have been a wild spectacle to witness in person. Legendary martial artist, star, and filmmaker Donnie Yen was in attendance and sounded blown away by what he saw. Honestly, I used to see robot fighting only in science fiction movies, Yen said at the event's opening per Global Times, but today, for the first time, I got to watch real robots fighting up close. I believe Donnie Yen was in Rogue One. And also, IP Man or IP Man. Yes, that's who he is. Just making sure nobody knows who Donnie Yen is. He's actually he's from Hong Kong, which is sadly now part of China. The weight of the machines, the precision of their movements, it was incredible, he added. Martial arts is one of Chinese robot companies' favorite ways to show off their capabilities. China stunned the world earlier this year with a televised martial arts display formed by a group of Unitree G1 robots that shared the stage with human actors. So, there's your weird and wacky news of robot carnage in China.
All I've got is puns.
To a town near you.
All I've got is puns. Well, there are puns and jokes, bad jokes. Let's see. Let's find one that's good. Most of them are terrible. Let's see. Come on now. This is not good. I'll find a good one, I swear to you. What sort of robot turns into a tractor?
What kind?
A transformer.
Oh no. Transformer.
What kind of snacks?
Tractors in disguise.
We already know what kind of snacks a robot eats. We do know that one. It's microchips.
Oh.
What kind of music does a robot listen to? Heavy metal, because they're made of like titanium and shit. That's it. Next story. Bad puns. Bad story. Bad puns.
Aww. I have to scroll through all the sounds.
I have a humor thing. I think football, NFL football at least, will probably college football too, because that's supposed to. It's going to turn robots at some point because of all the brain injuries, right? They're going to just tired. We're tired of paying settlements to players 20 years after retired for $50 million because they got brain injuries, right?
Yeah.
They're going to keep paying these settlements. They're going to say, fuck it. We're just start running robots out there. Robots aren't going to sue us.
And to be fair, and to make this clear, right? Don't drink the Kool-Aid yet. These robots are still human controlled. Right, they're not fighting on their own. They're still programmed by humans and being moved by humans. Yeah.
That way the coach can sit
some people who, watch too many AI videos on Facebook think these are actual robots fighting with their own prerogative. They have no prerogatives. There's somebody on there pressing buttons saying, do high kick.
They're not sentient.
Do mid shot.
They are not sentient.
They're not sentient.
They don't have feelings. don't cry themselves to sleep.
If you do want to
they just got an
replace
on-off switch.
the NFL with robots, you can still have people with jobs, just, the people controlling each robot on the field.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah.
Even more job, right? Repairing the robots after the game. It's like, okay, we can't repair this
during the game.
Let's use them for parts. We're using the quarterback for parts.
And unfortunately, running back 2658 has been taken out of the game because he has lost both his shoulders and his knees.
Right, exactly. It becomes a war of attrition for a while. We're down to 6 bots. Not 10 bots. Or no.
10 of them, that's too many. All right, we got my next story. Which I don't know how you're going to make jokes about this. I don't know how you're going to make jokes about this one, because this one is shocking. This is a shocking, weird story. A former Japanese nurse was using an IV drip with feces to kill people, maybe a patient specifically. Maybe she had a vendetta. We'll find out in the story. This is from Manthan C on IB Times. I think Singapore, command of Singapore, but the original nurse is in Japan. A former hospital nurse in the Chiba prefecture, located on Tokyo's eastern outskirts, was arrested on today, the 22nd of July, over suspicion of killing a patient by injecting human feces into the patient's intravenous drip and then making attempts to conceal the crime, which means they knew they did something illegal. Officers arrested Furugawa Miyuki, 51, who was an employee of a hospital in the prefecture's Kashiwa city at the time of the incident, as reported by NHK. According to police, before 4 a.m. on January 30th, Furikawa injected feces into an extension tube of a 75-year-old patient's IV drip. The patient died the following day.
Wow.
Police started investigating Manson after they received a report from the hospital that pointed out the patient's sudden death was due to a possibility of his IV drip being tampered with. Police believed that the cause of the patient's death was likely to be multiple organ failure. This was apparently caused after bacteria contained in what appeared to be human feces mixed in the IV fluid entering the patient's bloodstream. During the investigation, a nurse told officers that after the patient's condition declined, the nurse removed the IV tube and instructed Furugawa to retain it for later checks. The nurse noticed that at the time, the IV fluid inside appeared muddy brown. Investigative sources said the tube was later found discarded in a different area in the hospital. I'm going to throw this away, and I'm going to throw it away in the ICU unit, so they'll never find it. The discarded tube was later seized for investigation. The fluid inside contained what appeared to be human feces. Police suspected that Furukawa may have tried to conceal the tubes so that her actions would not come to light. Investigative sources also said Furukawa entered the patient's room on the day of the incident, despite not being in charge of him. Officers believe she may have contaminated the IV drip within a matter of minutes. She then quit her job after the patient's death. Oh, she was going to escape, huh? She's like, let me hide the evidence, let me retire, and let me get out of Dodge. Unfortunately, she didn't do fast enough. Bitch. I would have done it the day... I would have quit the day I did it. Not that she should have gone away with it, but not wait until he dies. I guess she was just making sure that he died. The former nurse remains in police custody while prosecutors determine the next steps in the case. Under Japan's legal system, suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. So, we don't know if she's actually guilty, but there's a lot of things against her. Fair enough. But, it's for, as always with these morbid things, you're asking why. Why did this happen? What did this 75-year-old man do? Did he do anything? Maybe he was just unlucky, right? She drew.
There's a lot of nurses like this.
Yeah.
They kill old people because they think they're suffering. Oh, you're suffering. No, I'm not suffering. Get the fuck away from me, you psycho.
Yeah, you're not allowed to determine who lives or dies. That's not your job. Your job is to treat diseases and patients. But do you have a joke about this at all?
Luckily, it's easy to find poop jokes, so there's plenty of them. All right. Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
No, I had no idea.
It's in your genes. Poop joke.
Worse.
Poop jokes are not my favorite jokes, but they're a solid number 2. Have you seen the new movie Constipated?
No, I haven't.
Me neither. It hasn't come out yet. Have you seen the new movie? Have you seen the new movie Diarrhea?
No.
It got leaked, so they just had to let it go. And one more. Do you want to hear my last poop joke?
No.
Never mind, it's too corny. End of jokes.
Oh, I get it. I get jokes.
Oh my goodness. That's right. Awful.
And that's with all comedy. The secret to all comedy is
Potty humor?
timing. That's it. What did we spin?
Associate the story with another one. Take it away.
2 stories. A woman stomach condition was cured by Diet Coke, believe it or not. Yeah, this is from AOL.com. Samriddhi Goel. Sounds like a name of a hobbit. Samwise Gamgee wrote this. Samriddhi Goel. A Massachusetts woman suffering from severe stomach pain, nausea, and vomiting was given unexpected treatment after a doctor discovered a large mass undigested material inside her stomach. Wow, that's tough.
Uh-oh.
Instead of rushing her through an invasive procedure, they advised her to drink 1.5 liters of Diet Coke over 2 days. The unusual treatment worked, leaving several netizens surprised. Netizens?
It's people who are on the internet, citizens. Yeah, it's pretty old term.
Yeah,
I guess you have to be a netizen to know it. Yeah.
Coca-Cola paid y'all for it. Wrote one commenter. Yeah, Coca-Cola's out there fucking doing. People are just stupid.
They're getting into the medical industry. Yeah, they're getting into the medical industry now.
Yeah. It's like the same people. Yeah, same people that say those are paid protesters out there for. Okay, if they're paid protesters, why don't you just go get yourself a check, buddy? If those people can do it, you can. Because they're not paid protesters. They actually care. Anyway, Coca-Cola paid you all for this. Some idiot wrote. Doctors in Brigham and Women's Hospital. This is in Massachusetts. And carried out several tests, including CT scans and specialized imaging, although they found a stool backup in her digestive system. They could not see a blockage. An endoscopy eventually revealed a large gastric bezoar, a tightly packed mass of partially digested food, was sitting inside her stomach. Doctors believe the bezoar formed because semaglutide slows gastric emptying, meaning food stays in the stomach much longer than normal. She doesn't have enough enzymes. She doesn't have enough stomach acid, apparently. In some people, that delayed emptying allows food to collect and harden into a solid mass. Oh, Lord. And after that, the acid doesn't have a chance. The medical team immediately stopped her semaglutide treatment before deciding on the next step. At least they caught it, right? Doctors advised a woman to drink 1.5 liters of not the regular shit, Diet Coke. Apparently, Diet Coke's even more acidic because of her diabetes. Oh, that's right. Diet Coke, she can't have sugar. Diabetes. Sorry, there you go. She's hypoglycemic. 1925 report, a fizzy fix published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Doctors suggested around 3 liters of cola over a 12-hour period. The amount was reduced because she disliked carbonated drinks. So they made allowances for her. It is not well understood whether acidity, carbonation, or another mechanism accounts for dissolution of the bezoar, they wrote in the case report. On the second day, the woman felt she described as a tugging sensation inside her abdomen. Soon afterwards, her nausea and stomach pain disappeared. A follow-up endoscopy confirmed that the bezoar completely dissolved. The woman was able to return to normal diet before leaving the hospital. Yeah, she went back to eating giant canned hams like nothing ever happened. No, that's your story. I don't think she ate giant canned hams. I'm just making up bad jokes. I say association with somebody with undissolved food in their belly and drink a Diet Coke.
This actually associates this with another thing, not a bezoar, but I forget what it's called, but it's like a tumor that has teeth and hair in it. That's what it reminds me of. So I don't think Diet Coke can get rid of those. I think you do actually have to go in and surgically remove those.
We need one that actually comes to life. Like it comes to life. It forms like a protein chains inside your stomach. It becomes a living thing. And it's got hair.
I'm pretty sure that's already. I think think that's already a horror movie, maybe, that exists. And also, I associate this with pay attention to, your body. You know, if you too many people ignore things that's going on, and then they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe this whole time I had a tumor or a bizarre."
I think the doctors may have caused the condition, which means it's their responsibility to get rid of it, right?
I guess we'll never know about that because I'm like
personal responsibility for it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I say famously, but like my landlady had this problem, right? She couldn't swallow food for like 6 months, and then she ended up having throat cancer, but she didn't ever make the connection that do you think it's weird that you can't swallow anything because it just gets stuck in your throat because there was a tumor blocking your throat passage, and it was just getting stuck in there. Yeah.
Okay, so on to a very depressing story if you're old like me and you're just getting older. Right? If you're old, you're 82, and one of the biggest problems you got when you're 82, what is it? Most of your friends are dead. Like, most people don't live to be 82. The average age, even for women, is like 80, right? 79, 80. So most people 82 got no friends left, and their family's like, whatever, you know, grandkids, they come visit every once in a while. They never call, blah, blah, blah. So when you're old and you're alone, you end up dying alone a lot of times because nobody comes to visit, you know, the whole thing. And this poor woman was in her bathtub for 9 days and nobody gave a shit. Clearly, nobody gave a shit about it, right? North Carolina woman, 82, survives 9 days trapped in her bathtub after a fall. TheGuardian.com has a story of Mon Antonio Vargas. The 82-year-old North Carolina woman says she survived falling in her bathtub after being trapped there for 9 days by turning the faucet on with her foot and drinking water that she managed to splash up to her face, all while drifting in and out of consciousness. She couldn't actually move herself. Joan Rivet recently shared her remarkable survival story in North Carolina's The Mountaineer newspaper, providing an extreme example of kinds of emergencies that can face millions of older Americans who fall in accident annually, according to Centers for Disease Control. Such falls are prevalent enough that in 1980s they served as a premise for the Life Alert medical alarm and protection.
We make memes about it now, but it's really it's a serious, deadly problem.
Joke to everybody for 40 years is a serious problem for old people.
Yes.
Everybody just think, they're all fuck. I think that's what their actual philosophy on the situation is. Old people are there to just die, and I think that's a lot of people's. And I really believe that's a lot of people's mentality. And I see it all the time. Ageism. Why are 80-year-olds job? I don't know.
People's mentality is nobody. This isn't affecting me, so I don't care. That's a lot of people's mentality, right? I can't fall down and break my head open, so it's not my problem. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, why does that guy have a job? He's 72. No, don't get old, little fucker. Whatever you do, you little shits. Don't get old. Whatever you do, don't get old. Anyway, let's do this story. I've fallen and I can't go. Furthermore, on Sunday, 84-year-old Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell revealed that it was a fall that led to his 14 June hospitalization. He didn't reveal shit. He's not even alive. They're keeping him pumping his heart in a respirator and all that shit. He's just laying in a hospital. They're clinging to life until it's too late to appoint anybody to his position. We know Mitch McConnell. You're not fooling anybody, but he did fall, apparently, and that's why he had to go to the hospital. In her case, Rivet, a widow since 2023, living by herself in a mountain home in North Carolina community of Clyde, at least she lives in a nice town, told the Mountaineer from a physical rehabilitation facility bed where she was recovering that the act of prayer comforted her as she waited for more than a week to help. Should have prayed for some food. It's like, always keep a phone near your
she just needed something to keep her going.
Take a phone with you. If you're old, you got a phone, even if it's a freaking corded phone. Take it to the bathroom with you, man. Come on. I stayed away from the dark side for the whole situation because once you go down there, how do you get out? The outlet quoter is saying, what does the dark side mean? I have no idea.
The dark side is in give up and just die in the tub, obviously.
Oh, okay. Is that what it means?
Dark side, yeah.
Well, everybody dies. I don't call that the dark side. Sheriff Bill Wilkie of Haywood County, North Carolina, confirmed deputies of his office found Rivet on June 10th after her brother, Bill Lesko, who lives in Georgia, called him to check on her well-being. Like, Bill's like, I haven't heard from my sister. At least her brother gives a shit, right?
Yeah, that's
Lesko
nice.
became concerned when his sister, who lives 5 hours from him, had not returned his calls checking on her, which occur at least weekly, as the Mountaineer report. Lesko had reportedly first called her neighbors and noticed Rivet's car was in the driveway, but there had been no signs of movements outside. Why? I'm just saying here. Why don't the neighbors go knock on the door instead of just, well, her car's there? That's not good enough, pal. Well, her car's okay. She must be okay. I don't fucking understand that logic. Deputies arrived to find Rivet semi-conscious in her bathtub. She later told the Mountaineer that she had been getting ready for bed on June 1st when she took a step backwards in the bathroom and toppled over into her tub, coming with a shower curtain and rod. Oh, shit. Rivet hurt her back and realized she couldn't pull herself out of the tub. She recounted to the Mountaineer. With her telephone beyond reach in another room, she yelled for help with her cat, Phoebe, who hopefully didn't starve to death. The home's only other occupant meowing alongside her. Meow, meow. What do you mean? Meow, meow, I tell you. Meow. Don't you understand me? Meow. Meow. Don't you know what meow means? Anyway, the cat never could get through to her. But neighbors couldn't hear her. Hours passed and eventually days. She knew she needed to drink if she was going to survive the ordeal. Well, you're in a bathtub. That seems like a pretty...
Yeah. Luckily, you have clean water.
faucet was in the tub's... Yeah, but she couldn't reach it. She couldn't grasp with her hand the monitor, so she told the outlet that she had figured out how to turn the knob of the faucet with her foot, then drank the water by splashing it up at her face. Meanwhile, Rivet slipped in and out of consciousness, saw dark and lighter again. That's what falling asleep is. She remarked to the Mountaineer. As she recalled praying, Lord, help, help, release the pain, as she struggled to get the comfortable tub or imprisoning her. And Lord said, no, you're going to have to endure that pain for a few more days, because I'm the Lord and I make the rules. Anyway, prayer is a good thing. I guess it's comforting, but I don't think anybody's listening. She also remembered thinking at one point, oh my goodness, what did I do? Well, she probably thought that the whole time, no? But she said she did not remember her first responders bringing her to the hospital after her brother's intervention. Anyway, she had been transferred. She'd been transferred to a rehabilitation facility in Waynesville, North Carolina by the time the Mountaineer interview was published on July 7th. I'm warm, I'm dry, I had a shower this morning. Hallelujah. They washed my hair. I've had food and water. I'm content. So good news for Phoebe. The cat also survived. According to the Mountaineer. The cat survived, even though he's like, meow, motherfucker, feed me. What do you mean you can't get out of the tub? That ain't no excuse. I'm a cat. I will eat you. Anyway. Just kidding.
All right.
Just kidding. Let's have us.
I guess we already kind of had the association, which is, I've fallen, I can't get up. It's a real serious thing. We make jokes about it, but there's a reason it exists. And I think actually it's probably good that it became a meme, because there's more people aware of the fact that you will get old, fall over, and not be able to get back up. And you're going to be laying there on the ground going, oh God, now I know what all means, you know? So, even though I'm still quite young, right? I'm only midlife. Even I sometimes think, oh my God, what if I were to fall off the stairs? Scary.
Dude, I fell down the stairs. 2018, I woke up for some reason, slept in the wrong position or whatever it was. I was completely paralyzed on the left side. I could not actually walk. I dragged myself to the stairs. I put all my weight on the railing of the stairs, and the railing gave way. And I went all the way down to the bottom of the stairs. I had my phone with me. I told people on Facebook I just fell down the stairs, and everybody laughed at me.
Like actually sent laughing emojis.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you, ha ha, you're at the bottom of the stairs and you can't move.
Been there, Roger, ha ha. It's like, no, I'm still there. You guys don't understand, I'm still there at the bottom of the stairs. Somebody called
a chair, and I slept on the chair for the next, day and a half.
Oh my God.
Only able to go to the bathroom, like, dragging myself to the bathroom,
Yeah.
and pulling myself up to this. I like, yeah, it's like
I
nobody on the
genuinely
internet gave a
think the
shit.
people who were laughing at you were laughing at the haha been there, but they didn't understand that you're currently in the
I don't know.
predicament. Yeah.
That wasn't exactly the reaction
No,
I
I'm
wanted.
currently.
It was like,
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody wants. Nobody wants sympathy. They want action when they just fell off down the stairs. That's for sure.
It wasn't
I guess
short.
they didn't
It wasn't
understand.
a short
Yeah.
fall. Yeah. I'm going to stop at some point, right? King, 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 all the way down the stairs on every potty
Yes.
part I could
The
hit.
corner of the stairs is
Tries to-
killer. All right,
It
for
has
our
a
next
landing.
segue,
For
our culture news.
On the stairs.
Mhm.
So there's like 3 stairs.
we have "Remind Me of a Song"
Boy, a song too.
for our
That's
culture news. I don't know if there's any song. Well, actually, there might be a song this reminds me of. The Grul and Graph Museum of the Victorian Workhouse. This is on The Guardian by Mark Brown from Northern England. Visitors to one of Britain's most complete surviving Victorian workhouses won't have to strip and bathe in someone else's bathwater, but they might get some gruel. They can sweep the yard, and there are schoolmaster volunteers happy to tell children how to behave. You're literally going to walk into the footsteps of people who have experienced this place, said the director of Ripon Museum Trust, Alexa Vernon. I'm not sure we can serve gruel every day, but children will be able to get stuck into sewing and hunt for mice and listen to sounds. And they might realize how lucky they are compared to Victorian children. Vernon was speaking before the reopening of the Ripon Workhouse Museum after a £2.8 million redevelopment. A key part of the revamp has been to make the experience more immersive with volunteers who might be baking bread or putting clothes through a mangle. Visitors are asked if they would survive the Victorian workhouse. As they enter the vagrant's block, the sound of unpleasant coughing fills the air. Yeah, that's right, don't forget about tuberculosis. There are baths and one-size-fits-all coarse men's nightshirt and a reproduction of the infestor used to fumigate paupers in vagrants' clothes. All the possessions would have been taken from them, said curator Laura Allen. They would be stripped. They would be bathed. If you are lucky, you would be the first person in the bathwater. If you're unlucky, you were the third. It's interesting that the reason people became homeless in the past are very similar today. Alcoholism, mental health, family breakdown, veterans returning from war. Elsewhere in the museum, visitors can shut themselves in a vagrant cell, pick oakum from old ropes, or pose for family portrait in a replica workhouse uniform. The museum reopens to the public yesterday. It reopened yesterday on the 21st of July after major conservation and restoration work supported by the National Lottery Heritage Fund. It became a museum in 2017, telling the story of the Victorian solution to poverty and homelessness. Give people a bed and food, but make it as grim, unpleasant, and as rule-bound as possible so they never go back there again, I guess, is the idea. Punishment! How dare you get on hard times? You deserve punishment. A revamp of the museum building has been badly needed, said Vernon. You could honestly stick a screwdriver in the only window frames and it would stand up independently, she said. The roof was leaking, we had water damage throughout, the wiring was like spaghetti junction, we had unsupported arches, our structural engineer said that technically the building shouldn't stand up. On top of the museum experience was more like walking around a 1970s council office with bits of interpretation, unsurprising given that it was once office space for North Yorkshire Social Services. Some of our TripAdvisor comments were along the lines of, "It looks like they're not finished it." Brennan said, "It wasn't finished." The lottery money had been transformative, and not just in fixing the leaking roof and the rotting windows and painting the walls in a horrible but original top pink and green. One particular joy, curator said, had been the opportunity to open the cellar, allowing visitors to see where meat was slaughtered and stored. One particular joy, curators say, I already said that one. This space, we think, was probably last opened in 1930s, said Allen. This is probably exactly what it would have been looking like when it was a workhouse. It's the only space that really has never been touched. And then there's a photo of like this ugly white wall that says "God is good" printed on the top, and then I guess it's where their eating room, their cafeteria. The museum tells a story about Ripon, but much more than that, said Vernon. This is a national story. Workhouses have an important story to tell about poverty, welfare, and justice, and there were workhouses up and down the country. This was the Victorian solution to poverty. The revamped museum is one of the 3 in Ripon that tell vivid stories of Victorian life. There's also a courthouse, museum, and prison, and a police museum. They tell historical stories, but their curators are passionate in their beliefs that they have contemporary resonance. Poverty still exists, doesn't it? Said Brennan. People can come here and think about poverty, think about how we treat people, and think about whether we are treating people more fairly now. She hopes visitors in the museum will feel more informed, but also more compassionate, thoughtful, and connected to stories of those who came before us. So there's my story.
Oh.
On the Victorian Workhouse experience. You can check out Ripon, I guess, if you want to have the Victorian life experience and go, wow, maybe I shouldn't complain about how nobody likes my Instagram posts. Maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Right? Didn't remind me of anything in England, but it did remind me of France, which did have a revolution about this shit. Right? Because they did, let's lock people up for being poor. And of course, Les Miserables, musical in the song I Dreamed a Dream.
The people sing? Oh.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of songs about being poor in that one, but yeah, we'll picking one. I Dreamed a Dream. It's about why I could have a real life, not just poverty.
I don't know the words.
Right.
I'm trying to figure the
Anywho,
I'm like, I dreamed a dream of times gone by, but then I don't remember the next line.
There was a time when men were kind, when boys were out, the words were inviting. There was a time when love was blind, when the world was a song, and the song was exciting. There was a time, then it all went wrong. That's the beginning.
Oh yeah,
of
thank
it,
you.
So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and famously, in at least
Poverty.
the film Les Miserables, right? Anne Hathaway
States
sang that
live
on set, right? They recorded her live audio of her singing that song and then put it in the film. The whole movie was like that, actually. Who made
right
that
on?
Film? I don't remember. Thank you,
it?
Rose Lawrence. Song by Rose Lawrence. She wrote the original song in 1980, I guess.
There you
For
go.
the theatrical, the theaters.
All right.
Did you send me? Oh, did you send me a video?
Yeah, I need to start.
Okay.
I sent you a starting time for it because I think you probably should skip the song because it might get copyrighted. So.
All right.
Just the interview
Our
part.
next segue is now I have to get reminded of a song. So take us away to
Remind
day
you
in
of
history.
This day in history. Pablo Escobar, this day in history. All right. It's 1456. Let me read that. What the hell happened in 1456? We were talking about Hungary earlier. We're going to talk about it again. Hungarian forces led by János Hunyadi, including an untrained army of peasants, one of the most remarkable victories in the history of the Turkish wars, resisting the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II's siege of Belgrade. So they defeated the Ottomans, teach them to fight with me. 1812, the Duke of Wellington. The Duke of Wellington, the guy who invented beef Wellington and also defeated Napoleon, defeated 40,000 Frenchmen. Well, this is about Napoleon, isn't it? Defeated 40,000 Frenchmen in 40 minutes at Salamanca, Spain, during the Peninsular War. Way to go, Duke of Wellington. Let's name some beef dish after him. 1923, 103 years ago, is the birthday of Bob Dole, U.S. Senator, Republican congressional leader, who was party's candidate for president in 1996. He was born in Russell, Kansas, where he rustled his whole life. 1923, American baseball player Walter Johnson became the first pitcher in Major League Baseball to strike out 3,000 batters in his career. And his record of 3,508 strikeouts still until 1983. I think Nolan Ryan broke that, and he totally buried it. I think Nolan Ryan got to 4,000. 1933, American aviator Wiley Post completed the first solo flight around the world. He covered 15,596 miles in 7 days, 18 hours and 49 minutes. But Wiley Post died in a plane crash.
Uh-oh.
The same plane crash that killed Will Rogers. So they both died at the same time. There's two airports in Oklahoma named after each of them. There's a Wiley Post Airport and there's a Will Rogers. Will Rogers is the Oklahoma City Airport, as a matter of fact. 1959, the sci-fi film Planet Nine from Outer Space, starring Bela Lugosi and directed by Ed Wood. But that's the best Johnny Depp movie, by the way. My opinion is Ed Wood. Considered by some as the most inept director in film history, it was widely released in American theaters, described as the worst movie ever made. It became a cult classic. Let's not piss all over Ed Wood. He made some fine films with low budgets.
Worst movie.
2011. Yeah, I'm just saying he did what he could. It's creativity that matters. It's not necessarily the big budget. I don't care about big budgets. They suck. By the way, the bigger the budget, the worse the movie. That's always been my opinion. The bigger the budget, the worse the movie. The special effects take over the movie and there's no story being told whatsoever. It's just you being fascinated with the sound and the noise. And you're like, oh boy, turn off my brain. 2011, terrorist attacks in Oslo and the island of Utøya in Norway resulted in deaths of 77 people. Anders Behring Breivik later confessed to the attack. We'll hope that guy was beaten to death at the club. 2013, he probably wasn't. 2013, Prince George was born. Yeah, the current Prince George turned 13 today. He was born Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge, the first child of Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, and Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge. Aren't they fancy? Happy birthday to Georgie boy. With a fancy pants, aristocrats. On this day, our featured event, Deng Xiaoping was reinstated after falling from favor during the Cultural Revolution, which was Mao Zedong's absolute disaster from 1966 to 1976. Deng Xiaoping returned to power on this day in 1977 after the Chinese Communist Party reinstated all its former posts, including that of vice president. Why? Because Mao was dead. Yeah, Mao died in 1976. Friedrich Wilhelm Bessel, born on this day in 1884, German astronomer, made his first measurement of the distance of a star other than the sun, and his work allowed the first accurate determination of interstellar distances. Our featured event, Pablo Escobar escapes his own prison on this day in 1992. Colombian drug smuggler Pablo Escobar escaped from a luxurious prison that he had built, known as La Cathedral. Well, if he built it, he knows where all the escape hatches are. All right. Known as La Cathedral, the prison was part of a unique deal he had reached with the Colombian government. However, the arrangement unraveled when he killed two cartel members in La Cathedral. Escobar disappeared after his officials tried to move him to a military prison. He eluded authorities for a year when his hideout was discovered, and he was murdered by the police in a shootout. Well, I don't think murdered. He was kind of a bad guy, even though he was very popular.
Well, it was still murder because, he didn't get trialed and sentenced. It was still it was an execution.
Right.
And it can be a legal execution or a legal murder, I suppose, but it's still murder, I guess.
Yeah. Birthdays today, other than Prince George, we've got Selena Gomez turning 34. We've got actor Keegan Allen turning 37. Let's see. Musicians Rufus Wainwright turning 53. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness turning 54. And actor Colin Ferguson turning 54, born in 1972. WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels turning 61. I don't know if he's still wrestling. It doesn't seem extraordinarily old. David Spade turning 62. Comedian actor David Spade, if you don't know who he is. Joe Dirt turning 62. John Leguizamo, comedian actor, also turning 62. They're born the same day. Indigo Girls Emily Sailor's turning 63. Keith Sweat, musician, turning 65. Willem Dafoe, famous Wisconsinite and actor, one of your best actors, turning 71. S.E. Hinton, who wrote The Outsiders, and that was then and this is now, turning 78. Don Henley, the Eagles drummer, lead singer, and litigious bastard, suing everybody these days, turned 79. Albert Brooks, whose real name is Albert Einstein. He was born this day in 1947, the same day as Don Henley. Danny Glover, whose birthday was recently celebrated because he's got, I believe, Alzheimer's or something. He's turning 80 today. Musician Rick Davies, who died earlier this year or late last year, Supertramp. He was born in 1944, he'd be 82. Actor Bobby Sherman, born in 43. And our final, maybe not our final, we did Bob Dole. Oscar de la Renta, born in 1932. Actor Louise Frencher, born in 1934. And Alex Trebek, born in 1940. Alex Trebek from Jeopardy, who passed away recently. And of course, musician George Clinton of Parliament and Funkadelic is turning 85. Happy birthday to George Clinton. A National Day calendar. It's National Mango Day, National Fragile X Awareness Day. Appears to be some genetic disease.
Yeah, it's not about your fragile ex who can't get over you. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, it's not about
it's a mutation of the MRI gene, and it's inherited intellectual disability. So there's some people out there with intellectual disability caused by this who still
two
deserve
stories
to live.
about DNA today. So it's very fortuitous that it's today because we had two stories about DNA. Of course, the twins that were the babies that were separated only found out about their DNA. And of course, the poor lady who found out she was related to Charles Manson, which is really horrible. I mean, that's the thing you never want to find out in your DNA. Charles Manson? Are you kidding me? Anyway, it's National Hammock Day, so chill out, have some penuche fudge. Some penuche fudge. I don't know what that is, but it's brown.
Panache.
Fudge normally is brown. Panache. What?
Panache is a culinary. Panache is a culinary way to make chocolate. I can explain.
Peanut butter
it to you.
fudge.
Is it?
Peanut butter fudge.
Is it panache?
That's all it really is. Yeah, I think so.
Oh no, it's not panache. It's peanut chew. So it's peanuts and fudge together to make some weird peanut fudge combo.
It's peanut butter fudge, man. It's basically peanut butter fudge. Yeah. That's what it says here in the recipe.
Oh, it's from Mexico.
That's everything for today. Your limericks, your songs, your jump pronunciation, your technical glitches, your human brain glitches for July 22nd, 2026 on Before, laying on your hammock with some penuche fudge and some mangoes.
Delicious. What a combo. Sweet
What a combo.
Wacky Wednesday. I can't find any songs about mangoes, and it's really bothering me.
I gotta make a list. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Let's have us a song.
You could always make me make a list. All right, I guess I only got 2 songs today because I couldn't find anything about mangoes. My first song is "What's Up" by the 4 Non-Blondes, in which they are waiting for a revolution. They pray every single day for a revolution, and that's a reference to, China had a revolution and they changed their leaders and put another one there. Is it raining inside? Is there a leak in your roof? What's going on?
Me? I hear a mosquito.
Oh, okay. That's all. I was wondering why you're looking around.
I don't know if it's buzzing near the microphone or buzzing near my headset. I hear a mosquito. Is that you, maybe? You got a mosquito? Oh, there he is. Oh, that's a fly. That's not a mosquito. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I thought you were going crazy. Just watching you see visions.
I'm hearing buzz. I'm like, where's that mosquito?
And of course, this song by the 4 Non-Blondes is famous for the meme, hey, yeah. My next song, of course, talking about Pablo Escobar. If you want to hang out, you've got to take her out. Cocaine. So there you go. Clapton's Cocaine. She don't lie.
Eric Clapton made that J.J. Cale song. He covered a lot of J.J. Cale.
Let me tell you, if you look up the word cocaine on Genius Lyrics, there's billions of songs about cocaine, so... But this is the classic. I think this is a classic cocaine song.
My favorite is Cocaine Blues by Johnny Cash. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's a classic mango song, so I just couldn't find any songs about mango. I looked up mango and there were
making more rounds. I took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. Just a terrible song about killing
maybe
people.
Not about... Yeah, it's not so much about cocaine. This song is just about cocaine.
It's actually a cover of a song called Little Eva or Little Sheba or something. Little something. Anyway, it's an ancient folk song cover. It's about,
for sure.
Doing something stupid because you're on drugs. That's what it's about. So yeah, it's cocaine blues.
All right. Thank you, Omlin, for your Forgotten Acorn. And that is the end of our show. Let me see if there's any. There's no UN observances today. So that's all the history you need to know, all the people who've ever existed, and all the weird and wacky news you need to know about this week. This has been Alison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US. As we are done with wacky news, tomorrow we'll be back with some Thursdays 13. So your weekly list of whatever Roger comes up with out of his head to talk about.
Maybe.
And I mean, it does come out of your head. I don't give you any suggestions at all. So usually, I don't give you any suggestions. And I've done maybe 3 lists in the history of the show. I've done 3 lists. So.
Yeah, maybe you can. If you let me know in advance, I can just relax and not even try to come up with one. But it's like this. It's like, okay.
You can also tell me I can't think of anything, and then I'll just come up with something. But anyways, we'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday 13 list, whoever comes up with it. So make sure that you're following on Before Coffee Podcast, subscribed on Before Coffee Podcast, make that number go up to make us feel good about people supporting our anti-AI news. And thank you to all our Before Coffee supporters for supporting the show. Here is our mic drop moment.
Thank you. Gee, yay.
How you doing? Oh, I got the funk, boy. He got the funk.
What?
Here you go, man.
Thank you very much.
I got you a crossover skull.
Don't you think I've got the funk?
The one and only George Clinton, Parliament Funk
I got you a crossover.
Chair.
40 years ago. 40 years ago.
He's like
85.
he's got braids on one side and then like a colored mohawk on the other side.
What are
He's European style. We know George Clinton
and by the way,
is
go
not
ahead and make yourself comfortable.
No, he's somewhere else.
A lot of African Americans, for lack of a better term, are actually half native. A lot of them.
It looks great.
Only people like them. Other natives.
Because you know about this.
Everybody loves George.
Are you kidding me? I know about
In rock and roll
that.
thing.
The first thing that let me know that I wasn't crazy was when I first saw you on television.
Somebody we don't have to complain about not being in the Rock and Roll Hall of
I know what
Fame.
it's like to be a jerk.
Sure,
No, don't get me wrong. No. I put
I understand what you're saying.
a positive or creative nuisance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You're annoying, is what he's saying. You're annoying, and I know what it's like.
Now, speaking of something like
You're
that,
great at being annoying.
I have here George Clinton's top 10 list. Do you have your own top 10 list?
Yeah, of David Letterman show.
Now, do you want to do that for us
Can I
tonight?
do this?
Yeah.
Can I
Oh,
You know how it
really?
works?
We got a free Thursdays
go on.
13 right here.
These are your top 10.
Yeah, right.
Okay, get down.
You missed
Read the
the
category first.
You gotta get some funkadelic in your life.
favorite David Letterman shows.
Written by you.
Written by me.
Now you need the drum roll.
Drum roll, please.
George Clinton.
David scoring on the streets.
I actually won an Emmy for that show.
He got blurbed.
I'm pretty sure you did. Probably got burnt. Larry Bud Melvin teaching Dave about Funkadelic.
Yeah, I remember that.
And by the way, Eddie Maggot Brain Hazel played the original Maggot Brain.
Maggot Brain.
Michael Kidd Funkadelic played the live version. So both of you was right.
Okay.
Number 8.
Both of
Pee Wee
you was
Herman.
right.
I like Pee Wee Herman
right.
whenever he's with you. You're good when Pee Wee's here.
Thank you.
Number 7 is Pee Wee.
Pee Wee Herman.
Right.
8 and 7. All right.
Right. Number 6 is Don King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta
Those
move
are
along
Number
now.
5 is Don King. Number 4 is Don King. Number 3 is Sandra Bernhardt raping David. Number 2 is Cher calling David.
I wish they didn't blurb this, because I don't know what he's blurping.
Salute to Velcro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Salute to Velcro.
Yeah, he's stuck himself for a wall. David Letterman famously jumped off the trampoline with a Velcro suit on and stuck himself for a wall.
Oh yeah, I've seen that a couple times since then. Yeah, it even became a game where you hit people with Velcro balls.
He also put on a suit of Alka-Seltzer and dipped himself in the water.
Okay, nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. We
Yeah,
enjoyed that a
thank
great
you,
deal.
man.
Have a good weekend and a nice
so
summer.
I'm gonna get on back into Brooklyn.
Monday, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Buckby. Ed Buckby will be here along with Stephanie Powers. My apologies.
Interesting they
to
put an
Jerry
ad
Kirk.
break
We'll
in
reschedule
between
him as soon as
that.
possible. Have a good weekend. Good night.
Oh yeah, they have to do the last commercial thing before it is.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.